Hello, one and all. It's my view of My Hero Academia, chapter 333, Spectre. And I've got to say, this chapter certainly surprised me. I mean, ever since this big fight first started, I'm wondering, okay, what exactly is going to happen to Star and Stripe? Because it seemed so weird they bring in a foreign hero, someone who is, just a step below All Might, a step above Endeavor, someone who's an absolute freaking powerhouse, and basically have them solve all the problems, have them deal with the escaped prisoners, the villains, the absolute madness and anarchy and chaos and all that, and then just, yay, we won, the end, bye-bye. That just felt like it'd be a really unsatisfying ending to the series. And at the same time, they spent so much time building her up in the last couple chapters in this fight. It also just seemed wrong they would just, kill her or just have her, lose her quirk and basically become a damsel in distress. That just felt wrong. Felt very, very wrong. And now Mancer, she didn't just lose her quirk, she turned it into a freaking virus, into cancer. She infected Shigaraki with it. And now it is destroying him from the inside out. Oh my god, I love it. I freaking love it. I mean, I said last chapter she had this weird, satisfied smirk on her face at the very end. I couldn't really figure out why it was, and now I know. It's because she was planning on killing Shigaraki. She was planning on continuing the fight inside of him, and we just see the smile again as she's standing there before him, and he's like, why doesn't she look afraid? Why does she look so calm and resolved here? That's freaking me out a little bit, and I don't have a face. And then he exploded, and exploded, and exploded, again, and again, and again, as she issued her final order. New order revolts against other quirks. And then she transforms into basically a ripoff of Gigantomachia as she starts tearing away at Shigaraki, at All For One, and all of the dozens upon dozens of quirks he's managed to acquire throughout his very, very, very long lifetime. Oh, I love it. I absolutely freaking love it. And it does actually seem to be working. Apparently, All For One's Reflect quirk was destroyed while she was, tearing it to pieces. So she can actually destroy quirks inside the quirk realm. But All For One kinda can't do that. I mean, I guess he could, overpower her, but that doesn't really seem like all that viable an option right now, especially because, and as we see in this shot, he is still at war with Shigaraki. They're still, fighting for control while also fighting against her. So, yeah, as long as they're in competition, there's no way they can overpower her, and she's gonna just, keep eating and destroying and tearing apart everything in her freaking path. Oh, she is a true American. She is a true American, and I love her. And of course, I'm seeing a lot of people online saying she should destroy Shigaraki's regeneration quirk first, and I mean, that would make a lot of sense. That would definitely make things easier for Deku, but I'm kind of wondering, does he only have one regeneration quirk, or does he have multiples? I mean, I know we got one, the important one, after his fight against All Might. That's the reason why, he's still alive, but kind of, lost his face. I'm kind of wondering, if after they decided, okay, let's really focus on stealing some, regeneration healing quirks to add some redundancy to make sure that I'll never suffer a wound like this ever again. Because, Shigaraki heals really, really unnaturally, terrifyingly quickly. And I just have to wonder what it would be like for the one person who had that quirk, who was essentially immortal, invincible, indestructible. Or would this be the result of multiple people having multiple healing quirks, which Shigaraki is activating all at once every time he gets injured? Not sure about that. But anyway, like I said, she's going on an absolute rampage, and it almost seems like she's trying to tear All For One out of Shigaraki, which would be interesting. That would be very, very interesting. I mean, what would happen in that scenario? No more All For One at all, which I guess kind of would ruin his whole plans of combining One For All and All For One together, so that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, but still, then we'd have Shigaraki in complete control of his own body with all the quirks that All For One managed to gather, throughout his whole lifetime, and that would be a true powerhouse, and then we'd also have, him basically able to kill the real All For One because, he's in full control of his own self, his own body, and that would be a very, very interesting storyline. The old generation is truly dead, and now is the battle of the new generation. Because right now, my idea for the, big bad finale of the series is, Shigaraki and Deku team up in the quirk realm to fight All For One, to finish him off once and for all, because, that specter, that ghost, that old man needs to freaking die. His time has come. Let him rest in peace, for God's sake. So, yeah, him dying here, him being torn out here, and Shigaraki being freed would definitely change what's going to happen in the finale of the series. I would really like to see that. Though there is something else we need to be aware of, and it's something rather concerning. In the last panel of this chapter, we see something with wings. Now, that might have been Shigaraki just, growing wings so he could fly away on his own, but I think it's also rather likely that's the Nomu that either he flew in here on or another one that he called, and that he'll be able to, give new order to that Nomu, and then, that's it. Her whole big plan to stop Shigaraki will be done, finished, which would be very disappointing. I mean, at one hand, I think she did a lot of damage to Shigaraki. She was able to get rid of a lot of his quirks, weaken him considerably, maybe even strip him of All For One altogether. But on the other hand, this does lead to a rather interesting possibility, because if she goes into that new Nomu, then the order carries on. The order to revolt against other quirks, and that Nomu has a whole bunch of quirks, and if all of them get destroyed, and she's the only one left standing, would she gain control of the Nomu's body? Would she basically have transferred her consciousness into a new host, just like All For One is trying to do with Shigaraki, by moving his quirk into the new body? I mean, maybe. That's a very, very big maybe right there. Obviously, that's not exactly how things work. All For One's able to move people's quirks from one body to the other without, swapping their personalities, but I don't know. This definitely seems like an exceptional case, so I could see it happening. And then we have Star and Stripe, who is still alive, but let's say considerably weaker, and, it's going to take her a long time to get rid of all the quirks in her body, to take control of it, to basically, become her old self again, and she would look way, way different. So definitely a downgrade for her, but she could keep going. She could continue on living in this series, and I would so, so love to see that. I mean, she's such an amazing character. I just really don't want her to die quite yet. I mean, seriously, just the smile she has at the end when she's looking at her bros, her crewmates, her fellow soldiers. Oh god, it is so overwhelmingly wholesome, and I love it. And I would love to see that smile coming out of Nomu's face in the next couple chapters. Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun to say. I'm actually rather curious how America would react to their number one hero becoming a monster. I mean, that could be a whole spin-off series on its own. I would freaking love to see that, but curious, very, very curious. But anyway, back to this chapter, All For One reveals that his biggest fear in the entire world, was that New Order and One For All would team up and form an unstoppable duo that would be able to put him down for good. And that's the reason why he did all of this, to keep New Order out of Japan. And there's some interesting things here. I mean, first off, oh god, the way he imagines Deku is just so outdated. I mean, seriously, Deku has not looked like that in a very, very long time. He is broken. He is badly, badly broken right now. And just, seeing his old self like that it's charming in a way. It's definitely charming in a way. But also, the fact he doesn't refer to them as Star and Stripe and Deku. He refers to them as New Order and One For All. He literally only views people as their quirks, which is interesting. Definitely interesting. Another reason why I think, Star and Stripe might be able to take on new life inside of the Nomu. I think that could make a lot of sense. And it's also just interesting how much he truly does seem to fear One For All and the potential it has, the unstoppable power that can foil all of his designs. I mean, how truly powerful is One For All? How much stronger can Deku become? Because, I know we saw how strong All Might was in his prime at the start of the series and his big final battle against All For One. But at the same time, this fight, this last couple chapters, it has been gods. It's literally been gods punching each other over and over again with laser swords and giant air stands and just absolute freaking insanity. Meanwhile, Deku, he's certainly strong, but he is nowhere near this level, and it's going to take him, I feel like, quite a while to actually reach this point where he can, be at their level, fight at the full power of One For All, so that's definitely curious. Though this actually might go into the entire purpose behind Star and Stripe. What if, her big goal here, what she accomplished here, wasn't necessarily killing Shigaraki, killing All For One, separating them, but rather delaying them? What if she did enough damage to his body, to his new body, his incomplete body, that he's going to take a very, very long time to recover, to heal, to protect himself now? What if it's going to take him, months or even years to, finalize his body now? That would mean that Deku has the time needed to actually master One For All, to actually reach his full potential, and to actually take a freaking nap and recover. Because seriously, this is 12 hours after we finally get back to UA? He has not had a lot of time to rest. He has not had a lot of time to recover. And if Shigaraki goes right from this fight into attacking him, Yeah, that's basically it. That's game over for him. But if her attack on him and the Quirk realm actually did some significant damage, and it's possible that Shigaraki might actually be down for the count for at least a couple weeks, that could give Deku the time he needs to recover, to heal, and perfect One for All. I would really hope that's the case here. But please, let me know us down below. What do you think of Star and Stripe's sacrifice, and do you think she's really dead? I mean, oh god, that would be an absolutely perfect, amazing way for her to finish her story, but at the same time, I would so love to see her reincarnating herself into a freaking Nomu, flying alongside her brothers in arms like that. That'd just be such an absolutely freaking amazing way to, continue her story past what is essentially her death. And also, what do you think happened to Endeavor? Because, he's been flying towards this fight for a very, very long time, since it started, essentially. And he still hasn't reached him yet. I hope his next chapter, he'll show up and basically force Shigaraki to flee because he's so badly damaged. And then, Endeavor will be able to guide her soldiers to Japan, to UA, to some place where they can rest and recover and deal with whatever they want to do next. These guys still have, laser weapons that are fairly powerful, so they can probably do quite a bit of damage to the villains somehow, some way. I'd like to see that. Or maybe they'll just end up flying back to America and reporting on what happened. And what about the other foreign heroes? Because, Star and Stripe kind of cut through the red tape and just flew right to Japan. And then she died, which might really, be a detriment to other heroes coming here, because their government's going to be so afraid of losing, their best heroes when all the villains are suddenly acting up at once for some reason. So, yeah, that could be an issue. But on the other hand, these people are heroes, so I can definitely see them, basically just cutting the red tape like Star and Stripe did, and flying to Japan, flying to lend a helping hand, even aware of how dangerous it truly is. Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. But please, all down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, next video. And until then, peace!